Hello and welcome back to WVU Sports. We are live here from UPlace Apartments, and today we have our Mountaineers facing off against University of Texas at Arlington. So far in NACE, WVU Lotus undefeated, playing out of their mind in these first couple of weeks, and going into a team who did come off a loss last week to upset their winning streak. Ours, though, still happy and alive. So going into this week, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking Western Lotus is now primed to win this conference. And that's what I'm thinking. I was thinking going into the season that Leslie was going to be their toughest challenge, and then they played Leslie last week, was down 2-0, and then found a way to win in a reverse sweep. So I think the sky's the limit right now for this Lotus team. University of Texas Austin, as you said, just came off a loss last week to East Tennessee State, and their wins against Siena Heights and University of the Cumberlands are nice, but they aren't really they don't really speak to me that much. So I think Western is in a great position here to continue this win streak, and we might have an undefeated regular season. I don't want to call it now, but that's the way it's looking right now. And with the other playing, that's definitely on the table.
It is on the table, and I mean, with what happened last season, and I would say probably looking even better this season, and especially when you're arguably the best team in the conference besides you just reverse swept last week, and then they're forfeiting a match this week against a team that they would 100% beat.
Yeah.
So now they're 2-2, and you're still undefeated. Hopefully coming out with a win today. And
the team you're playing is second place in the conference right now at 2-1.
So a big win as well. So, I mean, I think it's going to be a beautiful day of Rocket League, and I'm really excited. I mean, we've seen a lot out of Duffy already in these first couple of weeks, playing obviously amazing on his debut, having a hat trick. I mean, not much of a better start than that. And then even last week, just holding his own, doing what he needs to do to somehow allow the Mountaineers to climb back and reverse sweep the competition, which is insane because, I mean, that team was playing really well in the beginning. Mountaineers kind of just not looking elite, especially there in game one, letting up 5 goals is kind of preposterous, I guess you could say. But then coming back with
goals.
insane offense in the last
Yeah,
couple.
I think their offense has probably been their strongest
Yeah, for
aspect
sure.
so far. You go back to match one, they scored 4 goals and 8 goals, and then 4 goals again in a sweep. Match week 2, another 3-0 sweep, another high octane offense, and then last week, game 1 scored 3, but I said obviously gave up 5. Game 2 didn't play that good either, and then down 2-0, 5 goals in game 3, 5 goals in game
Yep.
4, and then a 2-1 victory in game
Yeah.
5, which is not a victory that we've really seen this team have. Usually, if they're only letting up 1 goal, they're scoring 6, but it's nice to know that they are able to win
Yes.
in other ways. So I really just the early returns from this team have just been so impressive. As you said, Duffy's been looking great. He has kind of merged in with this team really well. There's a lot of positives right now for this Lotus roster.
There is, yeah. It's a positive galore roster as of right now, and I think we're going to continue to see, hopefully, this type of play throughout the season. Because as of right now, I would say that Leslie was the toughest competition so far for us, and we saw that
Yeah,
win.
for sure.
I did predict Mountaineers in 5 for that game. Now, I wasn't going into that thinking we were going to go down 0-2 first. And when we did, I don't know if I had the utmost confidence because, if I'm being honest, the offense was really struggling in those first 2 games, and especially defensively in game 1. And I was losing a little bit of hope. But as per usual, Lotus somehow manages to turn it around like mid game and crawl back in as they do so commonly.
Yeah, no, I think they're, and we've talked about this some with some of our the other Mountaineer rosters like COD, and how important it is for them to come out with a lead.
Oh, yeah.
Because as as they find themselves in a larger and larger deficit, it becomes the kind of commitment right now to climbing out of those holes isn't as consistent as you'd like to see it. But Lotus has really shown us that it doesn't really matter what the score is. It doesn't matter if they're down 2-0 and then it's game 3 and they're down a goal with a minute left. They're going to find a way to win, and then it just takes a little bit of momentum, and then all of a sudden they are back in the driver's seat. And I want to go ahead and look again at the standings here. Lotus obviously in first place, and then University of Texas Austin is in second, tied with East Tennessee State, who they just lost to.
Right.
And East Tennessee did, I believe, got swept
They did get swept
by Leslie.
Yes.
So I think the power rankings are pretty clear, and I think I'd probably have UTA fourth.
I would say, yeah, I would say you probably have UTA either third or fourth in this bracket. I mean, I would say ETSU did beat them last week, but it was a really close series. And more importantly, like you said, they did get beat by the team that we beat, and they actually got swept. Wait, was it 3-0?
No.
Oh, our record. I thought you were saying the match last week was 3-0. I was like, wait, I thought it went to 5.
This is our record. This is our record. This is going to be the score of the game today. This is everything.
I also agree.
3-0. 3-0.
Yeah.
What you what happened to Mr. Confidence?
I'm always Mr. Confidence, but I'm always I gotta
no
always give
what.
it some thought. I can't blindly walk into things. I gotta think through.
I've been crunching the numbers.
You have been crunching the numbers. You're pretty spot on.
I've
Unlike Gabe, who's consistently wrong.
Unlike Gabe.
But I mean, I don't know. I would go with 3-0 here. I don't know. The reason I pondered, the reason I thought a little bit on a 3-1, because we're 100% winning this game. The only reason I thought of a 3-1 is maybe a slight hiccup. And I don't know, because Lotus sometimes does have a game where they've looked good all series and they kind of just for some reason just kind of hiccup a game, and you're like, oh, what happened? And they bounce right back, but you're just like, I don't know what happened in game 3 or 2 there, where they just kind of stopped scoring. We've seen that, I wouldn't say consistently, but it does happen. And UTA is not a bottom half team. They are still a top 3, top 4 team in the league.
They are a top half team. I just don't think that even in a hiccup game for the Mountaineers, this UTA, I'm looking at the numbers now. They don't play a ton of defense.
This is true. They do succeed a lot of goals here. And if you're going to have a bad defense.
And they've only scored 5 in a game once so far this season.
Okay, so you really have been on these numbers. Okay, now I'm feeling more confident than I already did.
Yes. Last week they lost in 5 to East Tennessee State. They played probably their best defense all season in that match and still wasn't able to come
Yeah.
out with it. But then obviously in Game 5, the lights got bright and they did concede 4
Yes, I
goals.
think that was actually they conceded 4 goals in the first 4 games in total, and then conceded the exact same amount in Game 5, which obviously ended up leading to their first loss this season. So that is actually a great point because Mountaineers, their strength 100% is their offense. They just
it's been explosive. The pressure that they keep on their opponents the entire game, they don't even give their whoever they're playing any attacking
it's like
chances
90%
even, really.
attack, 10% defense.
The ball is going to be on the Mountaineer attacking half for probably 65, 70%.
I agree with that, and I do think,
and
I know
I know at least in week 1 the touches
were insane.
Were just not even close.
It was really insane week 1. I mean, and that was when obviously we saw Duffy get that hat trick. Emma got I think we almost got a team hat trick. It was crazy. Hira had 2.
Was it Hira or Emma that had 2?
Emma had 3. Duffy had 3. Hira had 2. But once again, like you said, like the Mountaineer offense, you don't have a second to breathe. You are consistently having to rotate to try to get back on defense, and Mountaineers might not even having boost. They're still attacking. You're still getting shots on goal, and eventually, as most of the time, one will sneak through. And then it's a 3-0, then it's a 4-0, then maybe it's a 4-1, 4-2. You know, they kind of get a little lazy, then they score another 3. It's always a fun shootout. It's always usually a blowout in some regard. But what we've seen a lot, like last week, is they also going to win those close games. I mean, we had Game 5, which was 2-1.
And it's the only close
yeah
game really of the season, really that I can remember. It's usually these losses usually go like we saw in against Leslie, losing 5-3, and then they lost a close one, but then they won 5-2. They won 5-1. Usually when they win big.
When they lose,
they
lose.
They
not lose big, but it's not like we were in this the whole time. Like you were kind of going through the motions of that game, but we're part of this in this one.
I think the offensive floor for this team is still high enough to where they're not going to get blown out by essentially everyone, and that's not even just their ability to score goals. It's also what I said about possession and pressure, and that the other UTA is going to have to really take advantage of their attacking opportunities this match because they're not going to have a ton.
No. And that's been a consistent issue for a lot of opposing offenses the Mountaineers faced. When you're on defense 75% of the time, that other 1/4 of the game, you've got to be efficient on your shots. And that rarely ever happens.
It's also just mentally kind of demoralizing. And it leaves you more prone to these situations where, like, all right, we have a chance, we have to go now, and then you overextend and you have an open goal.
That's happened actually a lot. There's been a lot of instances of that. And most of the time, you'll get on attack, like, finally, this is our shot. We've been playing defense the past 2 minutes, and you get, like, one, like, half, like, lackluster shot, and then you're back on defense. And you're like, well, I give up now. And then Emma scores 3. And you're like, well, what do you do? You know? What do you do? But hopefully we can hop into this match. It is now 8:45. Make it 8:46. And hopefully we'll see a swift, clean 3-0. That's the idea here, right?
That's what I'm predicting.
I'll go with 3-0. I think after looking at some numbers here, my confidence that was already high is higher. And I think even if they do have that hiccup game, as we've seen plenty times, they pretty much bounce back instantly. And I think against a team that I would say, like, the top 4 teams in this conference, there's a severe drop from second to third and third to fourth. Like, there's a lot of difference between the first 4 teams.
And I just think the confidence right now for this team is so high, coming off of a reverse sweep, off of a lot of people think is going to be their toughest opponents all season, and coming away with a victory in that match. I think it's going to be 3-0 by the 3-minute mark in game 1. Yeah,
that's a solid. I like that. I think we're going to come out swinging. It's going to be like, I agree with that. I think we're going to see a lot of heavy offense, like, immediately, which is what we see pretty consistently, actually, is just a lot of offense instant. And it's just, it's 3-0, then it's 4-0, and then maybe they crawl back in and make it 4-2, but it never really is enough. But yeah.
Guy in chat.
And your mic's delayed and you're called Dimples. Tragic. That's 0-2 for you. You're just 0-2.
You can take the rest of the
he's going to step off. Y'all bullied him off the broadcast. Unfortunate to be known as dimples. That's not. I don't even know. Do you even have dimples? Yes. I don't think I've ever noticed. Doesn't a lot of people have dimples? Maybe this is an elementary school classmate, and they're coming back. They're like, I remember this guy. I remember him. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But regardless, Excite thinks you're cute, so it's fine. If you feel a little bit better now, you know, that's really all that matters.
I'll see you when we walk back from class another time.
Yeah. See, look at that. But yeah, hopefully hopping in here to this game pretty soon. I do agree though. Gonna come out swinging. Gonna be a quick 3-0.
If the trip up game happens, where do you see that?
I see that happening in game 3. I see the first 2 games going smoothly, and then I see them kind of underestimating that this team isn't, a bottom feeder, and they just like kind of let off the gas offensively, and then they slip up a goal or two, and then they get a little bit of momentum, and maybe they close that game back out. Okay, here's my game by game prediction. Game 1, blowout. Game 2, blowout. Game 3, it's either a close win or a close loss. That's my prediction there, because I do think game 3, they're going to try to get a little bit that last climb. Mountaineers might get a little comfortable, and then there's a possibility that they maybe like lose a 2-1.
I think if they get to 2-0, the third game's a blowout. I think if there's a triple game, it's going to be game 2.
Okay,
that's fair. I think if they get to 2-0, they're going to be like, all right, we're better than this team. Let's lock in, go home early.
That's true. The mental, like, let's just go home.
Yeah,
and it's raining.
We have, except against Leslie, we've talked about Leslie. We have a perfect map. We have a perfect game record. 3-0 North Texas, 3-0 Texas Tech. This is another team that we should be able to handle easily. Let's, come on.
Yeah, I mean, let's just let's wrap this up. Head home. Tuck ourselves in a little early here. Yeah, but I don't know. A part of me wants to, not underestimate the competition here, but a part of me also just knows that we are the best team in this league, and I don't think it's necessarily like I said earlier, that 1 to 3, 1 to 4 spot. It's a large gap, despite only a 1-win difference record-wise. But I also think we have the strongest win so far here in this conference.
Beating Leslie is the most impressive one that anyone in this division has had, especially in the fashion that they did it. I know Texas Tech technically has a win now against Leslie,
which is
obviously fraudulent.
It's a fraudulent win.
I don't know why Leslie had to forfeit.
Hey, I mean, big for us though. Our only
Texas
competition
Tech really taken belt if they had to play them. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Texas Tech, why it just like this crazy aura they have, and Leslie was like, I don't want any part. We just got reverse swept last week. I don't think I want, the Texas Tech white smoke.
What's Texas Tech done this season?
Texas Tech so far is 1-3. So that forfeit would have been their first win of the season.
Okay.
So the aura was definitely there.
I don't know. They forfeited week 1, it looks like, against Eastern Tennessee State, lost to North Texas 3-1. Obviously got swept by Lotus, and now has a victory against the second best team in the conference.
So it's looking like their season's kind of turning around here, I would say. Season's definitely on the upward spike.
Well, they play this University of Texas Austin team next week.
That'll be interesting to see.
That will be
because there's a lot of differences.
But I guess UTA, we both agree they are a top half team, and they have been
solid,
dominating the teams that they should beat, which is an important virtue. A lot of teams can't beat the teams that they should beat, like Penn State.
This is true.
Yeah, so that still is a skill to never lose the games that you shouldn't lose, and UTA has definitely shown that so far.
So do you think?
I think they'll beat Texas Tech.
I think they will definitely beat Texas Tech easily. But do you think they also probably should have won last week against ETSU Gold? Because I would say I think they should have. I think it's fine to maybe drop a game or two there, but I think to lose in the fashion that they did, because they literally came out game 1 dominated, then lost game 2 and 3 super close. So I don't know what happened between game 1 and 2, because it was 4-0, then they lost 1-2, then 0-0. They didn't score in game 3 at all. Yeah. So I don't know. They kind of just pulled an opposite of Lotus, where they just were really good in the first one and then just kind of fell apart.
Well, ETSU, it's kind of hard to judge them right now. They lost 3 to Leslie. They won week 1 by forfeit, and then the only other game they played is against the UTA team, which they won in a map 5.
That is true.
So it's tough to kind of make a bunch of conclusions about how they look so far. They play the Huskies today, or sorry, not today, but next week. They have a doubleheader next week against the Huskies and the
Patriots. They got the Patriots.
Yes, against the University of Cumberland's. I think they probably win both of them.
I mean, I don't.
And I think the 3-4 spot in this conference is a toss up between East Tennessee and University of Texas at Arlington.
I do agree. I think if we're gonna see a rematch, I think if there was a rematch of that, it could go either way still, because it was super close.
Yeah. Same thing with Lotus and Leslie. They're the 1 and 2. They played.
Yes.
They went to map 5. The 3 and 4, Texas, Arlington, and East Tennessee State. They played. They went to 5. I think those are the concrete 1 and 2, and the 3 and 4, and then the order we're just based off of who won. And obviously, they're both map 5s. Both those games could have gone either way.
I will say, maybe
the grit of this Lotus team to pull it out, though, is pretty
maybe
impressive.
this is cope, but I think if we were to rematch Leslie, I don't think it's as close as it was last week, because I really do. Our wins were strong. Like, our wins were stronger than their wins. Whenever we won, excluding Game 5, we won. Like, it was like offensive masterclass coming through. And when they won, it was like, all right, we were kind of in there. Like, that's not that bad. So I think if there's going to be a rematch of that, it's going to be. I'm calling a 3-1 Lotus there. I think maybe we drop Game 2 and then win everything else in 3-1. So I don't know. Who really knows? It's all up to predictions. It's all up to the magical 8 ball in my mind. So it has
so far. I do hope it continues. I hope this Mountaineer win streak continues. But before we get into this next match, we're going to take a quick ad break while we're waiting for the players to get situated and everything. So once again, if you want to skip on the ads, make sure to support us any way you can with a Twitch Prime, with a subscription, with a donation. Anything and everything helps us so much to continue to put on this product for you guys. So we'll be right back.
righty, here we go here on game 1. UTA versus Mountaineers here in week 4. Duffy already going up for a little contest there. Can make it work. Rotating back now. Glary with a nice shot. A little far right, though.
Counterattack to them with on. Close for their first attacking opportunity of the game. Right there, but there's a couple misses by UTA, but they're able to get the clear there at the last second, and now we'll rotate back. Once again, needed that ball, went right up towards that UTA goal. Pressure is already there. Glare with the miss. Is there an opportunity for the Mountaineers? It is, but here can't find the angle. With pressure, we talked about it in the streak. It's going to be a lot for anything to deal with.
Yeah, we're kind of already seeing hit, and there it is, the first one. It's going to be Hira. Starting us off hot here, 50 seconds, and we mentioned it all pre-game long. This pressure's going to be on UTA time and time again, and eventually one will sneak through. This time it's Hira. The Mountaineers are going up here early. Duffy is going to go away up Emma. Emma wins the 50, already has possession. It's going to be Duffy flipping it up for Hira. A nice clear there by D. Duffy, nice touch, a good setup. Emma can't find the angle. And this pressure is still on here for UTA.
Yeah, they got a little bit of a chance here right now, just trying to alleviate that, but then Emma's there with that 50-50 over on the right side, and now once again that ball is just staying in that Mountaineer offensive half. It's a good touch from Duffy. Can't quite find the second. Now Glare over here over the middle has a good opportunity there. It's off the top of the crossbars. There a follow-up? Yes, there is, but Duffy comes in at the last second and just tips the ball right out of danger for the Mountaineers. And now it's Emma up the left side. UTA is able to scramble back defensively, but West Virginia narrowly escapes there without giving up that equalizer. Now UTA has a little bit more of juice going now. You can see after that first goal, they're kind of waking up a little bit, but Hira, beautiful goal. 2 shots, 2 goals for Hira. 2 Mountaineers in the first minute 45.
Yeah, and you had mentioned it before. The Mountaineers are going to come out swinging. It's going to be did you say 3-0 before the half?
I said it would be 3-0 by the 3-minute mark, so that probably isn't going to happen. But
I mean, hey,
it is going well for the Mountaineers right now. They've got about 10 seconds here to prove my prediction right. Good touch from Phantom, but now it's just going to lay right at the feet of Hira. She comes over on the right side once again. Already has 2 goals, but can make something else happen. You get rotation back from Duffy, but UTA have a position here. It's a good, I mean, the defensive rotation for the Mountaineers are on point right now, though. No sloppy Rocket League right now for the Mountaineers. It looks like, can it be a third for Hira already? Almost, nearly there. Now it looks like they've kind of put themselves up a little bit here on the back end. They're all going to have to rotate back and kind of are all sitting in their own goal for the time being. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, so far, UTA haven't really had, like, bad looks. It's just Mountaineers have rotated back relatively perfectly throughout this, and they're not letting anything go by. They're not letting any sloppy goals go on in as Emma gets the clear, and now Phantom able to rotate back, but Hira is simply faster, and Hira finds the hat trick. 3 minutes in to game 1. It is all Hira.
Well, UTA had everybody in the attacking third there, and we talked about how kind of this Mountaineer team kind of tends to make their opponents do that with just how much pressure. And, UTA finally thought they had a chance. They sent everyone down the line. There was just nothing there. Emma finds a fourth immediately. 4-0 Mountaineers before the 2-minute mark.
Yeah, I mean, you said 3 before the 3. How about 4 before the second? I mean, huge. Or I guess we're 3 minutes into the game. Not a 3-minute mark, but still. Regardless, already coming out hot. And UTA have had maybe 1, maybe 2 good looks on goal, but the Mountaineers have been there every single time. And this is looking like a blowout here in game 1.
And the biggest difference now is the Mountaineers' ability to attack with 2. We saw that UTA, whenever they kind of get down here and they're in an attacking opportunity, they send 3 every time. The Mountaineers don't have to do that. The Mountaineers can attack with 2, always have that one person kind of playing near midfield with plenty of boost to kind of get back and play defense. And it kind of leaves them in this position where they are never going to find themselves, kind of left with an open goal, but Phantom with a great shot. Not an open goal, but here just could not get up in time. That's a great goal there for UTA.
Yeah, might be a miscommunication there between Emma and Hira. I think Emma was trying to pop that up for Hira, but Hira seeing the attacker having that angle, was choosing to kind of stay in goal and try to get a nice touch on it, but didn't work out in the end there. But the Mountaineers will win this kickoff with Emma and Hira there at the front. But a minute 30 left here for UTA to try to make something work. This Mountaineer attack is not going to subside as Hira from half court. Yeah, 4. The 4 door.
Hira finds 4 already, with still 90 seconds left. And once again, just another overcommitment from UTA. Makes sense, getting a little bit desperate down on the scoreboard. Time's winding down. You're going to have to get aggressive there, but Hira is there for the capital punishment. 4 goals on 5 shots for Hira, and these kickoffs have always been going in the way of the Mountaineers right now.
Yeah, and I mean, Rocket League a lot of times is a game of momentum, and so far UTA cannot seem to find that. The kickoffs aren't going their way. They're not getting too much offensive attack time. A nice center almost there by Phantom is going to go across the goal right into Emma's hands. And Glary, what an angle! Oh my goodness, from on top of the crossbar. Somehow finds it and nails it in to go and get their second here of the match. Wow. Insane shot.
That was something special right there from Glare. That is a ridiculously hard goal to find. But it's one that UTA are going to have to find a way to score if they want a chance in this match. Now they're immediately going on the aggressive again. Phantom trying to find another cheeky angle, but it's just not quite there. And now West Virginia is going to try and maintain possession here. 60 seconds remaining with a 3-goal lead to play with. Hira obviously looking to extend that. Already has 4 goals right now. It's another good defensive touch from her.
Yeah, 4 goals, 1 assist. But a part of every single scoring option here in Game 1. But 3 goals is a large mountain to climb in 36 seconds. I do not know if UTA has it in them, has the gas in the tank, as the Mountaineers are once again back on attack here. And a nice center there by Emma. Nobody home. As the Mountaineers choose to rotate back instead, which ends up working out in their favor. Duffy takes him on the right side now. Glary gets the contest. 20 seconds left here. Nice block there by De. 17 now. Emma passing back to Duffy.
And they just want control right now. Just looking to keep the ball in this middle area. Ping pong it back and forth. 5 seconds left. It is impossible now. Lotus takes Game 1. Fairly convincing fashion. They are going to give up 1 at the buzzer. Some stat pad in there from Phantom K. But 5-3.
Yeah.
Pretty much 5-2 at the end of Game 1. We talked about, in the pregame, I talked about how UTA's only scored 5 once this entire season in NACE. If West Virginia can just keep putting up these type of goals, does UTA have the offense to keep up with that?
Yeah, that is the question. I mean, so far, UTA not having a lot of looks, but the looks they did have weren't too bad. I mean, Phantom having 2 goals there of his own on 5 shots, 1 and 4 for Glary. I mean, not too shabby efficiency-wise, but the Mountaineers simply much more efficient. I mean, he got 4 goals on 5 shots and an assist. Can't do much else if you are UTA when here is having a game like that. But going here into Game 2, maybe some momentum on that last goal. UTA climbing back on that game ever so slightly in the last minute or 2, but will it be enough to outscore the Mountaineers?
Yeah, this is that 2012 Mountaineers football team type of game. We might score 50, but we're going to score 70. And Emma immediately, again, putting that pressure on, and this ball is sticking right next to that UTA goal. The Mountaineers have plenty of opportunities here. It's a good touch from Duffy. That's it down towards the middle, but not a Mountaineers there to capitalize. And now Phampton's going to take it with the left side, but is out of boost now. Hira collects it calmly. Oh my goodness, she's going to do it all on her own. Emma comes into the perfect time. Great communication there from the Mountaineers. And Emma and Hira, that dynamic duo, gets it done once again and find the first goal. Just absolutely perfect there, execution-wise, from the Mountaineers. Once again, they're going to be able to play with a lead here early on.
Yeah, you can see Hira was kind of up in the air and just kind of starts to leave it, let the ball fall down so Emma can get a touch of her own. And it worked out to perfection there. Once again, like you said, the Mountaineers going up here early, which has been a staple of their game plan. If you can go up early and maintain a lead and just play safe for the rest of the match, I mean, maybe even score even more, it seems to work out in their favor time and time again.
Such a dangerous touch. Oh my goodness, Phantom barely saves it. Almost a bit of a defensive error there from UTA. I mean, West Virginia is still so comfortable right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing the rotations still on point. I mean, Mountaineers not really seeming to sweat too much right now. A nice aerial here coming through. Can't make it work, though. Runs into the crossbar before he runs into the goal. Phantom trying to regain possession here for UTA. And a nice look here, and it's going to be Duffy scoring his first in the series. Mountaineers go up 2-0 once again.
I just stole that ball right from Phantom. It looks like that was a bit of a tag team effort there from Duffy and Hero, just bouncing off each other and knocking that ball in the back of the net. And now, once again, very similar pacing-wise from last game. We saw through the first 90 seconds, Mountaineers were also up 2-0 in that game one. And they convert similar to what they did just a few minutes ago. And I mean, this time it's without all the heroics from Hero. It really is more of a team effort now. And that's, so nice to see. In one game, you see just the carry job from one person. In another game, you're able to see the complete team effort. It really does go to show how potent this offense is, how they are able to kind of get these goals in any way, shape, and form.
Oof.
Emma had it nearly there. The UTA is going to try and stabilize here, but it's a good bump there. But Emma, once again, the rotations are always there for the Mountaineers. Now they're coming right back over, right in front of the UTA goal. It's a good touch, but it just doesn't have the power on it. There's the demo. There's maybe the finish from Emma, but just again, so close. The UTA cannot get the ball out of their own goal here.
Yeah, it's been on this UTA side for the last minute here. We've had good look after good look. Phantom saves another one there. Glary trying to get this clear out, but Duffy says, no, we're keeping it over here on this orange side. Dangerous touch there by Glary. Not a lot of Mountaineers around to contest, though. And Hira might have it, and she does. Her first here, a team ace, I guess you could say. Everyone finding, everyone eating. 3-0 Mountaineers once again here at the half. And Phantom saved a couple earlier, but couldn't quite make it to that one.
The defensive touches have been really sloppy from UTA. They'll be able to get a touch on the ball, but it doesn't really go where they want it to, and it usually just ends up heading it back up towards their own goal. Really kind of not ideal there, obviously, at all for Texas at Arlington. And West Virginia has completely capitalized so far. 2 minutes left now. Once again, a 3-0 lead for the Mountaineers. They show no signs of stopping. It's going to be Hero up this right side. Can she do something? Doesn't quite win that 50-50. Now UTA has an opportunity here to try and cut into this deficit. But we saw them similar to last game. Is it too little too late right now? It took them such a long time last game to find their first goal. And with how potent this Mountaineer offense is, can they afford to be down 3-0 with only 90 seconds left?
I don't think they can. I mean, UTA has proven they are able to score the ball, but not in the volume of shots the Mountaineers have been having. And they just cannot even seem to get the ball in a good enough position touch-wise to even get a good look this game. They had some good ones in the first one, but here in game two, the offensive time on attack has been basically minimal, basically zero. Finally, though, they're getting a little bit of something going. Maybe the gears are starting to turn, but Duffy already clearing it back on the other side. I thought he might have the angle there, but no.
This is, I believe, the textbook definition of best defense is a good offense right now.
100%.
It doesn't matter if UTA have the ability to score if they literally cannot physically score because the ball is in front of their goal for 4 minutes every game.
Yeah.
It's, what are you even really supposed to do? The defensive touches aren't there. The clears are not there. UTA, and now it's 45 seconds left, and they're having their first real attacking opportunity that they've had all game, and the Mountaineers are there, and now all of a sudden it's right back in front of their own goal. What is the direction right now? What's the game plan, UTA, to get them out of this? Because they're kind of just trying the same thing over and over again, and obviously that isn't going to work.
Yeah, I mean, we're not seeing an, oh, goodness, dangerous one there by Duffy.
If that was on purpose from Duffy, that was gross, that defensive touch there. It almost looked like an accident, but it worked out well.
I don't know if that was on purpose. I don't know if that was a insane mastermind plan, but I think he might have been right to kind of deflect it away from a possible offensive touch there by UTA to go up and get their first goal. But no, a nice solid attack here by UTA, the first here in game two, but it's just too little too late. They did not have the offense to go down 3-0 early on. And the Mountaineers.
Oh, one more, and it's there for Hira.
Wow, West Virginia paying them back for their last second goal in game one with the last second goal of their own. And that was just Emma Duffy Hero back of the net. Perfect offense once again from the Mountaineers. Now it's at a 9-3 goal differential so far in these first two games.
I believe so, yes.
West Virginia looking as strong as ever.
Yeah, I mean,
prime position right now. I think I said this might have been their hiccup game. You thought it would be game 3.
This is true. Yeah, this was not the hiccup game. UTA
Yeah.
only shooting on goal twice in that game, which is a insane number here.
Yeah.
I mean, Phantom 4 saves. We saw him, I believe, most of those coming in a single minute. Sadly, could not make the last one, which ended up ending in a goal. But
the touches aren't even like
they're not
ridiculously
they're not
one-sided
crazy
either.
one-sided.
But all of UTA's touches are just kind of these kind of like half clears that we see them do.
That don't really actually clear at all.
Yeah, and it's just the coordination's not there. The game plan isn't there right now for UTA, and now right heading into game 3. This is where I thought the Mountaineers are really going to kind of come out and just say like, all right, we're better than this team. Let's just knock them out now. Is there going to be that hiccup game that you talked about? But the Western has just looked so good so far.
I was going to say, I don't, honestly, now that I'm seeing these first 2 games, I don't think so. I mean, UTA had a spark of offense there in game 1, but it just went out like a light in game 2. There was no spark. There was nothing being produced offensively. I believe both of those shots might have even came in the last 30 seconds of that match. The Mountaineers have kind of just already given up a little bit there. And hopefully a solid one here, but no. Not a lot of sauce on that one. Does not have the power, and Emma regains control here. And once again, UTA, a little bit of offensive time here. Hopefully they can capitalize on something as they need the oil to start pushing, and the shot wasn't there. It was wide open, though. That was a needed one.
That was an absolute must score there for UTA. It's a mistake that Western has not made all day, just giving them a completely open goal, and they weren't able to capitalize. And that was, I think, that right there was a better attacking opportunity that they had in all of game 2. And they still were not able to capitalize. And now West Virginia looks kind of be getting to their own ways, and UTA is going to be struggling to get this ball outside. But it's Emma and Hero both back in it for the time being, but now coming back up at this right side. Player misses. There's no one there to follow it up. And now UTA looking much better than game 2 already. Their offensive output, some more signs of life here for sure.
Yeah, a lot more signs of life, and there it is. UTA going up early for the first time in this series. Finally finding one there, and it's an unfortunate turn of events there for Emma. Gets the ball stolen, and that ball somehow has an angle to sneak its way right in the back of the net.
Hiccup game?
Possibly a hiccup game here. The Mountaineers, I mean, not really having the attack we saw in game 1 and 2. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it might be that comfortability I talked about earlier where, you know, they're like, all right, we're much better than this team. Let's just kind of sit back a little bit. Let's stop pressuring so much. We're good. We're better. And then UTA, like I said, they're not a bottom feeder team. Not might be better.
They're not.
But
they're not.
It's not, you know, it's not an undefeated team versus a team who hasn't won a game yet. It's a team who has so far not looked great, but they're starting to crawl back in. The gears are starting to roll in game 3. But the issue is for UTA, if you're down, they're going to keep scoring. If you're up, they're going to keep scoring. The Mountaineers have the ability to climb back into games. We've seen it time and time again. 2-goal lead is never enough against this Lotus squad.
It's kind of been an exact opposite of this game, too. Western hasn't really had a ton of good attacking opportunities except for right now.
Oof.
And it's almost there, but it's just not. And now UTA has Emma at the last second came through and denied UTA their 3rd goal. Much needed defensive clearance there from Emma. Saved her teammates there, but West Virginia had a chance there, and we're not able to capitalize. And now UTA, once again, the pressure is now on the Mountaineers. The roles have been reversed here so far. Duffy trying to make something happen, but just doesn't have the boost for it right now. UTA is able to survive once again. A complete tonal shift from the first 2 games.
Yeah, this is surprising me as of right now, but a 2-on-1 here. Almost the carry from Duffy to get that one in the goal, but Hira kind of forced it back up there, and now has a little touch of her own, but the defense swarms her pretty soon after. And she is all out of boost right now, stranded back on this UTA side. UTA might have a little bit of an attack here, and a nice angle by Dib, but no, the crossbar says not this time. But no counterattack for the Mountaineers. Here gets a nice clear, but 2 minutes left for the Mountaineers trying to score something, get the ball rolling. I mean, like you said, this is a complete turnaround from game 2. I don't understand what has happened so far, and almost another good look there. What?
The only thing that makes sense to me right now is what you were talking about pregame, with just like maybe getting a little bit too comfortable, a little bit too confident here. And UTA is not a team that, like, obviously the Mountaineers have the ability to beat this team, but it's not a team that they can just kind of expect to roll over even when they're down. This is a team that we just saw go through a Map 5 victory last week against University of East Tennessee State. Washington does find one there. Yeah, this is UTA is not a team that's ever going to quit. And we've seen that so far from this game. Washington is going to cut that lead in half with 90 seconds remaining. And they find a way to peel back this game 3 and make our predictions both right.
Yeah, hopefully so. I mean, I still expect a 3-0. If I'm going to be honest, I guess my predictions did kind of like counteract each other because I did think we're going to have a hiccup game here in game 3, but maybe not a hiccup game enough to make a loss. And like I said earlier, a 2-goal lead is never safe. Emma closing that gap in 30 seconds.
And that angles.
Yeah, that's
a little bit disgusting.
Back-to-back disgusting angles there from Emma, I'll tell you what.
And McKay was able to get a touch on it, but it was a little too late. And now 2 goals from Emma in 30 seconds. Now the Mountaineers, they feel like they're back.
Oh, yeah. We are so back as of right now. The momentum has swapped severely here away from UTA because...
Oh, and there's another chance right now. Oh, Hira.
Hira.
Absolutely beautiful. 3 goals in 45 seconds for the Mountaineers.
No lead's ever safe.
This game's turned on its head once again. And the Mountaineers back in the driver's seat.
I mean, I'll tell you what.
63 seconds.
Hira with an insane mechanical touch there right over the defender. I mean, couldn't do anything but come crashing down and watch the ball trickle in the back of his net and lose the lead they've held on here for 4 minutes. I mean, just the best game UTA has played so far in this series. But once again, a 2-0 lead is never safe against the Lotus roster because they will score 3 goals in 45 seconds. But the equalizer comes in from Glary.
That was just a complete defensive mental lap there from the Mountaineers.
Yeah, that was actually quite bad, but it's okay. All tied up once again here, 46 seconds left. Why not make game 3 a little bit interesting?
Why not? In for a barn burner in here, which could be the last game of this match if Western is able to capitalize. But once again, UTA has a great chance here. Hira comes through with the save. UTA is not going to give up this pressure. All 3 players getting a touch on that ball, but Western is able to hold strong here. Now it's a Glare with a great setup for Phantom K, and he's able to knock it in with this first goal of the game coming at such a crucial time. A great touch from Glare, setting up his teammate perfectly, and it's an open goal for the Mountaineers. And now with 24 seconds remaining, this game 3 is now in jeopardy.
Yeah, the hiccup game has hiccuped here. And I mean, I just don't, like I said, you can't get comfortable against UTA. They are a solid squad. They will show you why they've only dropped 1 game so far in this season. And another one is going to come through, and UTA puts the nail in the coffin for game 3. And those 3-0 predictions are falling apart now. Do not get too comfortable here because this is what will happen.
And that was just textbook, how to score 1, overcommit, leave yourself vulnerable on the back end, and UTA is able to capitalize. And now Washington pretty much needs a kickoff goal right here if they're going to want a chance.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a little bit of a miracle here. We've seen them actually pull off some insane miracles.
Going to have to go into this next 2 seconds, and it doesn't look like it's going to. Now that will be it. Game 3 going in the way of UTA. Washington is going to try and find one here to cut the deficit to 1, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter.
Hold on now.
That ball will be grounded. And the hiccup game came true.
The hiccup game was true.
As predicted.
Yeah, the predictions did kind of come through now. I didn't think they were actually going to lose game 3, but I did think it'd be a hiccup game. And I was right, but I was also wrong. 7 shots from Glary is absolutely insane.
Now the reverse sweep is alive for UTA.
It is. I mean, I will say Duffy kind of falling apart a little bit there in game 3. 1 shot, 0 saves, 0 goals, 0 assists. A lot of touches, though, from Duffy there. And 3 demolitions, to be fair. So one of the demolitions earlier did set up a nice goal, a nice open shot to clear out that defender. But
might West Virginia fall victim to the same thing that they were able to pull off last week?
Yeah, I mean, one would hope not, because I will say I think Wesleyan is multiple tiers above UTA when it comes to this bracket. And to reverse sweep a team like Wesleyan and then get reverse sweep by UTA would be a predicament, to say the least, I would say. It would be interesting.
Definitely been a chance that maybe this UTA has been hiding in wake, not showing their true potential until a moment like this where they come across the #1 ranked team in the conference, and they really put out all the stops here. But after those first 2 games, it really did look like there's going to be another easy Mountaineer victory. But this UTA team has come alive here, and now we find ourselves in a game 4. Mountaineers back on the attack, though. Plenty of pressure, but now they're going to have to rotate back.
Oof.
Nearly there, and it's a 50-50 from Emma that she's not able to win. And now UTA finds another early goal. Phantom K just comes in at the last second. Just a nice little tap off the wall to himself. Hira can't get up in time. And UTA once again, an early lead.
Yeah, and it keeps on happening. UTA figures it out. Maybe they've got this Mountaineer attack squad down. They've got the attack plans. They've got everything. They're a little more accustomed now to what's going on. Another good look, and oh my goodness, Phantom finds another. The Mountaineer defense is falling apart at the seams here in Game 4. Duffy had the touch, and then he didn't. And UTA capitalizes on it and goes up 2-0 in the first minute. This is unlike the Mountaineers right now, who in those first 2 games dominated openly. But now it's looking like here in Game 4, they're going to need to crawl back in once again, which did not work in their favor in Game 3. You never want to go down early. And that goes for both teams here.
Absolutely. They were able to fight back for a little bit in that Game 3, but then 2 more goals came in for UTA at the end to really put the nail in the coffin. And it looks like UTA, can they find their 3rd here? So close. Just not quite. West Virginia is able to survive for the time being. Now looks to get her first real attacking chance so far of this game. That's a shot for Emma, but it's Phantom once again with the slide and the touch. Now West Virginia is still kind of struggling. We have not seen anything close to the offensive output in the first 2 games so far in Games 3 or in Games 4. What has changed here for the Mountaineers? What has UTA been able to figure out? Completely stifle this Mountaineer offense that was so potent in those first 2 games. And really all season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's UTA figuring out the Mountaineer offense. The Mountaineer offense just kind of falling apart. It's hard to, depict it and see, dissect that, I guess, right now, when it's happening in front of your eyes. But they've got to get something going because they had the offensive firepower in this first games. And a nice touch there by Hira, and Duffy almost knocks it in from behind. But no, a nice defensive touch there by UTA. And they were starting this counterattack once again. But if anything has changed, it's been the offensive attack time for UTA. First 2 games, maybe a minute and a half combined. But here in Game 3 and 4, they've been setting the pace. They've been attacking how they want, when they want, and the scoreboard showing that.
They completely dominate possession here. West Virginia has a good chance here right now, though. UTA is going to kind of scramble to get back defensively. Once again, the defensive rotations right now for UTA have been so much more on point, and West Virginia is struggling to really crack it open. Hira trying to find something up this left side, but a good touch from Phantom, and now that's going to go right back into the wheels of UTA, but there's a demolition on DeGlaire. Can West Virginia find a way to capitalize? That's a lot of boost right now, and he's just going to be kind of able to take it over, let his teammate respawn right before giving the ball back for the Mountaineers, and now UTA still in another kind of favorable defensive position. And with the demo onto Hira, can West Virginia find anything? Looks like UTA is completely content with just kind of taking this slow and playing defensive right now for this last 90 seconds.
Yeah, not a lot of boost there for that UTA defense, but somehow they make it work. You've got to capitalize on those boost deficits for the Mountaineers there, and another good look there by Emma, but is simply there to deny it, and Duffy gets met in the air by again. Back-to-back defensive stops. The Mountaineers are getting shut down time and time again as Emma gets a bump onto Hira.
The coordination's just not there right now.
It's not. It's really not. It is completely fallen apart from those first 2 games. Good bump on Glary, but with a minute and 10 left, the Mountaineers have proven they can go and score quickly. But they got to prove it here again when it matters, because if you're going to go down, they've seen it on the reverse end. When you win the first 2 and then to see 2 more, the momentum swing is severe and it's noticeable. And a lot of times, more than less, you'll lose that Game 5. But
I would not think that this Mountaineer team would want to see a Game 5 right now, but with just 45 seconds left, they need to find 2 goals to keep them out of that situation. And UTA is just playing smart, playing strategic. They're not going to give West Virginia any openings right now. They're just going to kind of knock the ball back towards that West Virginia goal and then rotate back, get some more boost, and play this really tough defense right now. Just 25 seconds left. West Virginia has to find something in very short order. It's another good touch from Phantom. West Virginia cannot find anything right now.
Yeah, and with time winding down, it's kind of looking like we're going to go to a Game 5, which is not where you want to be when you dominated those first two. I mean, it's just not what you expect out of this Mountaineer roster. UTA, though, expecting a little more out of themselves coming off that loss from last week. Maybe coming in here really hungry, really just needing a win. And a big win this would be for UTA if they can pull it off here in Game 5. But now we are all tied up in the series. As once again,
UTA has shown out these last two games.
Phantom has looked immaculate. I mean, 2 goals in the first minute, and then pretty quiet from then on out.
It down.
Yeah, just locking the defense down. I mean, we saw did with multiple saves, 2 and 2 from Glare and 3 from Phantom, and just once again, not even.
They're able to kind of withstand that little kind of attempt of like a late game burst there for the Mountaineers offense. Obviously, 11 shots is a lot to not score a single time. It is.
That is a lot. And you're seeing maybe it's not the West Virginia offense. Maybe it's just, UTA defense who would have stepped up severely. But I will say I do feel like oh, goodness. Hira, nice slide there to not have one go in early there. But I think we've seen a lot less coordination from the Mountaineer offense. We saw them kind of in sync the first 2 games. And then in Game 3 and 4, and once again, UTA will go up early. Glary finding it this time instead of Phantom. You've got to stop those. Those are the bleeding goals that really hurt you when you go down early. The momentum is so far in UTA's favor right now. The Mountaineers have to climb back into this, and it's going to be hard.
Absolutely it is. Glare immediately on the offense. Again, that ball is just dangling in front of the Mountaineer goal, but thankfully Hero is able to get to it first. And now West Virginia has a good chance here at a counterattack. They haven't really had much so far in Game 4. They need to maybe try something a little bit different here in this Game 5 for their offense to kind of get back to what it used to be. UTA has just been completely committed defensively, and it's worked out wonders for them so far as they've once again found themselves with an early lead here in this deciding Game 5. Mountaineers need to find something, though. It's now been 6 minutes without a goal for the Mountaineers, which is not something that you say often with this Lotus team.
Yeah, this might be the biggest drought of goals we've seen all season long, even against Wesleyan last week, which is arguably a tougher team than UTA, but UTA really put up a fight here in Week 4, trying to climb their way back up this roster, and Hira might have a good look, and she does! The Mountaineers get their first goal in 6.5 minutes. A much-needed one by Hira. Beautiful play to get the steal and the pop right over Phantom, who has made beautiful saves throughout these last 2 games, but not this time, as the Mountaineers might have the swing they need to get back in this game and claim this series.
Hira did it all by herself there. Got the stop, got the touch, got the goal, and now West Virginia turn that back into the momentum that we saw in those first 2 games. They once again find that spark. The UTA still looking poised defensively. Now it's a great attack opportunity for UTA, and they're going to find it once again. Glare immediately puts UTA right back in front. And now, what is the mentality looking like for this West Virginia Lotus team? We said it 1 goal in the last 7 minutes, and it was kind of just like a masterclass, almost a prayer there to just kind of, knock the ball away from 2 defenders and then find an open goal. West Virginia really struggling to find themselves right now, and UTA has taken advantage. Can Glare find a third immediately? Almost. But UTA are just relentless pressure right now. They completely flipped the script from what West Virginia was trying to do early on.
Yeah, and I mean, just like a light switch has just gone out on the Mountaineer side when it comes to defense here. I mean, time and time again, Glare or Phantom are finding amazing looks, and almost another one there. Somehow a little bit off target, and Emma gets a nice touch to clear this one out. Glare having a good angle there, but the defense is simply there to stop that from happening, to go not down too much there. A little bit of miss from UTA, but a lot of hockey to play. A lot of time left here on this clock, and halfway through in Hero, almost another masterclass. Duffy might have the angle, but no, rejected by De.
My goodness. Defensive prowess here from UTA is on point. It looked like that was going to be a surefire West Virginia goal from either of those 2 shots. But it just needed one person on that UTA roster, and they were able to clear it out both times. Phantom and both making incredible plays there. Now West Virginia once again kind of staggered. A little bit shell-shocked right now. 2 minutes remaining. Need to find another goal. At least get to overtime in this Game 5 and deny the reverse sweep. Can they find something? It looks so difficult for them offensively in these past few games to get to anything to stick right now. UTA once again playing content, playing slowly. And Hira has a little bit of a mistouch, and now it's Claire on goal once again off that top crossbar, batted down, and Emma's there to kind of get it clear for the time being. Now it's going to be Duffy over the center, but it's a good 50-50 win from Diff. And now what do you do for the Mountaineers with 90 seconds left?
Well, you need a goal, I'll tell you that much. And if you cede one more, it could be all she wrote, and the reverse sweep might be signed. But you've got to keep the attack going. As much as these goals have really not been going in your favor in these past couple minutes, I think the only way you live by the sword, you die by the sword, I believe, here if you're a Mountaineer. And you got to just keep the offensive pushing. A nice bump there onto Emma. Ball still on the Mountaineer side, and they've got to get it away, and they do a nice clear there. They have the look. No, a little far left. 45 seconds now remaining for the Mountaineers to find one more, to find the equalizer, to send this thing into overtime. A nice 50 there by Emma. Results in demolition, but ball went the way she wanted. Alki finds possession. Kira, can she do it all on her own? No, rejected immediately up in the air. Emma now trying to get this thing past midfield. Phantom has something to say about that, though. A nice touch. 27 seconds remaining now. Kira in goal, a nice save.
20 seconds left. West Virginia needs to find something. Going up this right side, but UTA has everyone rotated back. It's a good touch from Duffy, but it's just not going to be enough right now. UTA, 10 seconds left. Just trying to knock this ball over and over again towards that Mountaineer goal. Looks like they're trying to find another one here. 3 seconds left. West Virginia this ball can no longer touch the ground. West Virginia, to deny the reverse sweep, has to find it right here and right now. But it's going up the right side. That ball almost touches the ground. Can Hira stop it? Yes, she can. Barely. Emma over the middle. Can she find a touch? She overshoots just a little bit, and that ball is going to be grounded in West Virginia. Gives up the reverse sweep. University of Texas at Arlington. Absolutely clutch there. And they're able to take it away in 5, giving Lotus their first loss of the season. Absolutely incredible there from UTA.
Yeah, I mean, the ability to crawl back into that one when you were down so early. I mean, we saw it from the Mountaineers last week against Wesleyan. And it happens to them here in week 4. Their first loss of NACE. So far, it's been nothing but domination. It's close in week 3, and you lose it in week 4.
UTA's going to have to go my power rankings.
Yeah, UTA just shot up to 2nd, I think. Maybe you make an argument better than Mountaineers. They did just beat them.
I mean, they did just beat the Mountaineers.
They did just beat the Mountaineers, who were the only undefeated team.
Their only loss of the season is in a 5 game to East Tennessee State, who, I mean, I believe West Virginia plays them. West Virginia plays them in the last week of the season, so that'll be an interesting matchup when we see it. But West Virginia, Lotus handed their first loss so far this season in a grueling reverse sweep. Flipped the script entirely from happened just last week against Leslie. And now, I mean, what happened there?
Well, you had the hiccup game there in game 3, and I think, if I'm going to be honest, I kind of thought UTA was going to find momentum. Not like that, though. They kind of got the momentum there in game 3, and they never let off the gas, which is what you have to do when you're down 0-2 in a series like that. We saw the Mountaineers do it last week, and UTA does it right back here in week 4. But it's a heartbreaker. Yeah.
Match of Rocket League for sure. Hey, absolutely brilliant there at the end. And I mean, Western Lotus now. How are they going to bounce back next week? Playing University of the Cumberlands. Hoping to kind of get themselves back in the win column, but now find themselves now tied for first. And I guess, I believe if head-to-head is the indicator, then UTA is now first place.
They are indeed
in this division.
Well, I guess I don't know how that works, tied technically, but yeah, head-to-head wise, going to be above there. And I mean, that is a humongous win for UTA.
Absolutely, I want to see that matchup again.
I do too. That was a juicer. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, Leslie has got to drop down from that 2nd place spot. I mean, UTA taking the Mountaineers to 5 and winning it all in an absolute giga banger series. But now, Mountaineers going into next week against the bottom seed team, the University of Cumberland Patriots. And then obviously next week as well here is going to be the Texas Tech White UTA matchup as well, which Texas Tech White did just beat Wesleyan technically this week due to that forfeit. Don't have any details on that one just yet, but what a game. What a series.
What a game. Reminders for tomorrow. Odd against Akron, 7 p.m. NACE Valorant against St. Clair at 8:30. So still going to be a good day for Mountaineer Esports tomorrow. We will be live then. We'll be back. We'll be back. But until then, thank you all for tuning in. It was definitely an interesting match, a great match, you could say. Obviously, Western United didn't get the result they wanted, but still, anytime we get to cast a 5-match banger,
it's always fun.
It is always fun. So until next time, until tomorrow, peace out.